We saw the basics behind our relationships, but there are three concepts we didn't explore so far: cardinality, cross-filter direction, and active properties. Let's focus on to cardinality first, and let's simplify this term a bit by simply referring to as, well, relationship type. Specifically, we have three different relationship types in Power BI Desktop, and we'll have a look at all three of these now step by step. Let's get started with the one-to-many or many-to-one relationships. And in the headline, you can see this one and this asterisk. And if you remember back the project we just had a look at when we created the relationship, we also had this number and this symbol, just as a side note here. So basically, we created such a one-to-many or many-to-one relationship already. How does it work though in theory? Well, let's say we have two tables. One table is the customers table. Inside the customers table, we have an ID, a unique ID for each customer, and a first name and a second name of the corresponding customers. The important thing behind this customers table is that each customer is unique. As you can see it, each customer ID is only existing once, therefore each ID and each customer is unique. And we have a second table here, the orders table. In the orders table, we have this structure. The orders table has different order IDs, in this case indicated by A, B, C, D, E, and F. It has an order date, and it has the customer ID again. So basically the same ID that we see in the customers table. The important difference here is that the customer ID in the orders table is not unique. We have a unique order ID, but multiple customer IDs. What's the rationale behind that? Well, if you think about that from a logical perspective, if you would be shopping online, for example, then you would have a unique customer ID in the shop. This would be the left table, but you can of course have multiple orders. So in this example here, you can see that the customer with the ID 1 has ordered the orders with the ID A, C, and D. And what this means in the end is that each customer can have multiple orders. And that's exactly the relationship these two tables have. If you connect these two tables, then you have a separation between your customer data and your order data, because the orders table has the unique orders, the customer table has the unique customer IDs. And if you want to connect these two tables, well, then in the orders table, you only need to know the corresponding customer ID of the customer who bought the product, and with the relationship, you then have access to both the customer name and the corresponding order ID. So this is a one-to-many or many-to-one relationship, always depending on the table you're starting from. So if I would go from the customers to the orders table, then this would be a one-to-many relationship. From orders to customers, this would be a many-to-one relationship. So this is one relationship type, but we have two more. The next one is one-to-one. For one-to-one, we can think about another table. This table right here, which contains passport-related information. We have the ID of the passport, again a unique ID. We have the validity. We have the date when it was issued, first name, second name, and the country of the person who owns this passport. Now you could say that you want to split this table into two separate tables. One table containing the passport-related information, and the other table containing the person-related information. This would mean that the passport table would contain the passport ID, the validity, and when the passport was issued. And the person table would contain, well, the information about the person, so first name, second name, and the country where this passport was issued, or where this person is living. The relationship between these two tables would then be a one-to-one relationship. Why? Because each passport ID that we can find in both tables only exists once. Because, well, a passport for a specific person is a unique thing, and the person itself is also unique. Therefore, you have the ID only once in each of the tables. So if you want to create a relationship between these two tables to be able to use the passport and person-related information, you would have to create a one-to-one relationship here. So with that, we saw the one-to-many or many-to-one and the one-to-one relationship. But if we think back about this slide right here, then we have the cardinality and also this cross-filter direction thing. Well, and as it turns out, the cross-filter direction and the cardinality are kind of connected. So let's have a look at the cardinality and the cross-filter direction in combination and at many-to-many relationships.